Good morning. Welcome to Truth by Billie Beene, and thanks for hitting the like button, which helps my channel to grow. Today's date, February 8, 2025, time in Texas, about 7 a.m. Some of the things we'll cover. Planes fall out of the sky, and President Trump deports 11,000 plus in just 18 days. And President Trump has all of the executive authority he needs to take down the deep state. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, Steve Quayle's aggregate site, InfoWars, Forbes, Daily Mail, Dave Hodges, Stephen Gardner, New York Prepper, Hal Turner, plus. So let's get started. According to El Pas, President Trump, when he was inaugurated January 20, made a public statement. One of his goals was total elimination of the cartels. Now, President Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi put forth a document on Wednesday of this week stating that same goal, total elimination of the cartels. And of course, there's pushback by Mexico President Claudia Sheinbaum. The U.S. should clean up their own backyard before they try to clean up Mexico. And we have this coming out this week, Friday, yesterday. Pam Bondi, President Trump's Attorney General, in court, and an agreement has come out how much information can be put out publicly about the FBI agents who were involved in the J6 event. It's coming out now from other sources that about 5,000 FBI agents were directly involved in the J6 event. It's believed now the FBI agents actually pushed American citizens into the Capitol building, where the doors were held open by the Capitol Police. So that's going on, and the agreement in court. Before the DOJ can reveal the identities, the names of the FBI agents involved in the J6 event, they have to give the FBI agents 2 days' notice. And we have this space weather. We could see a low-level geomagnetic storm, a G1, February 10 through 14, as a result of the impact of solar wind up on Earth. From Breitbart, President Trump's nominee, John Vaught, has been voted in. He will head up the OMB, and the responsibility of the OMB is to develop and execute the president's budget. And of course, there was strong pushback by the Dems. President Trump's Secretary of HUD, Scott Turner, will immediately implement President Trump's directives, and in shelters, HUD shelters for women who were exposed to violence, immediately, Scott Turner will say that trans individuals, males who believe they're women, may not stay at shelters designated for women. And we have this, President Trump's Doge, headed up by Elon Musk to reduce wasteful spending, is now going to eliminate CFPB. This was the Consumer Finance Protection Group that had previously, last week, President Trump fired the director of the CFPB, Chopra. This group was taking control of American citizens' bank accounts and saying that American citizens could not buy subscriptions nor donate to conservative causes. They were also forcing the banks to make loans to illegals. And I know, and they were debanking some conservatives. I know that Carrie Cassidy had a problem with this. Her bank account, after years and years, was suddenly done away with. No explanation was given, but she was among other conservative media personalities who were harassed by their banks. So that's going bye-bye. No more USAID and no more CFPB. And we have this. President Trump, in just 18 days, has deported 11,000 solely to Mexico. Now, his group's team involving Customs, Border Patrol, U.S. Marshals, DEI, FBI, and many other government agencies, I believe, have most likely deported up to 20,000, because we have 11,000 deported to Mexico, we have at least 1,000 deported to India, and we have many other countries in South America also taking back their illegals, including Venezuela, Colombia, and other South American nations. And we have this. Friday, President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico made this statement, public statement, that Mexico has received 11,000 back. So in just 18 days, President Trump, last year, the U.S. deported 33,000. I submit if he's already deported 20 to 25,000, he's almost equaled last year's record in just 18 days. Way to go, President Trump. Make America great again. And now we have this coming out. Yesterday, I put out information about a plane in Alaska that had disappeared from radar. It was a small plane going to Nome, Alaska. It was just off, it was over water, and it was waiting to land when it disappeared from the radar. That happened about 3:16 p.m. And now we have this sad news that the Coast Guard has found the debris. 10 people were on board and 10 people have perished. And it appears the plane simply fell out of the air. And we have this information coming out. So in South America, in Brazil, we had a similar plane simply fall out of the sky. It was a small plane taking off from an airport in Sao Paulo and falling out of the sky just 1 to 2 minutes after it took off. Pilot is Gustavo Madeiras. The owner is Marcio Carpinha. There were only 2 people on board, the pilot and the owner. Both have perished, and I believe it hit in a neighborhood, so several people were also killed who were on the ground. And this happened after it was about 3 miles from the airport. So we see that warning from Mike from around the world, it's not safe to fly, is holding up. And now we have this from Fox News about the Alaska plane crash. It wrecked. The debris was found in the sea near Nome. It gave out no distress signal, nor did the plane in Brazil give out a distress signal. All on board have passed away. The U.S. Coast Guard finds the debris 34 miles southeast of Nome, where it was in a holding pattern to land. So that's going on. And now we have this from the Daily Mail. There's also been a train accident in the U.S. This was a train that left Philadelphia that had a fire on board. It was a 6-car train, SEPTA, 350 passengers. And this happened Thursday, February 6, about 6:15 p.m. All were able to evacuate safely. And we have this. Yes, as a result of the U.S. aid group going away, we find out Meta, Facebook, will begin laying off Monday 5,000 people. Apparently, Facebook was also getting millions of dollars from U.S. aid. And we know, those of us who use Facebook, that there has been heavy censoring on Facebook. And we have this, that President Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi is going to put forth a document, a plan to rid the U.S. of illegals, and will put this forth in about 30 days, a plan of action also to protect Americans' Second Amendment rights. And many of us know that the previous JB group tried to curtail Second Amendment rights for American citizens. Also, President Trump has canceled the clearance for JB to receive daily intel updates. Now, we know that JB was an actor, but apparently his team could have been receiving intel that they're not authorized to receive. So that has been cut off. Now, this authority, this ability to receive intel information by the previous president, JB, or the individual posing as JB, is in line with JB during his term, cutting off President Trump's executive authority to receive intel and also to be in possession of classified documents. What JB's group did, they canceled President Trump's authority for intel and to maintain classified docs. So they canceled that on President Trump, and then didn't tell President Trump, and then authorized the FBI to go into Mar-a-Lago and say that President Trump was holding classified documents illegally. See, payback is hell, isn't it? So that's going on. And now we have this. Doge, President Trump's team, headed up by Elon Musk, to get rid of wasteful spending. We have $516 billion that was going to expired U.S. government programs. Some had been expired for 40 years. $516 billion. Now the question is, who was receiving this money? So that's going on. Make America great again. And we have this. So President Trump's team, Doge, headed up by Elon Musk, is to get rid of wasteful spending of the U.S. government so there's more money available to benefit American citizens and America. We do have crumbling infrastructure everywhere. And we have this from Hal Turner, that courts this is coming out. Now, this is regarding courts recently coming out against President Trump, saying he can't have people go in and audit U.S. federal government groups like U.S. aid, and now he wants to go into, I believe, the Fed and the Treasury to find out where the money's going. Courts have no jurisdiction over money. President Trump has authority over government agencies, including the Treasury and Social Security. So, President Trump can authorize his group, Doge, headed up by Elon Musk, to go in and audit various groups. Now, the Dems had been saying that Elon Musk does not have clearance. Elon Musk has a top secret clearance. He does work for the military. President Trump's Interior Secretary Burgum is putting forth an emergency order that puts forth that there can be drilling everywhere on land and offshore. And also it covers mining, opening up all offshore areas, all on land areas, including in Alaska. And we have this, President Trump's drill, baby, drill. From Stephen Gardner, we have a Kentucky Senator, Mitch McConnell, who's had 2 recent falls. He's in his 80s, and Stephen Gardner puts forth, is it time for Kentucky to recall Mitch McConnell? Oh, yes. Mitch McConnell also got his share of the money going to Ukraine. I have more information on that. And we have this. President Trump has directed his head of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, to block men who try to enter. So Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security, is to block all trans athletes trying to enter the U.S. to compete in international contests. President Trump is big on getting trans out of women's sports. So that's going on. And we find that President Trump inspires other nations. I put out yesterday that the Middle East were going to work constructively with President Trump to make the Middle East great again. And now we see Argentina also is following President Trump's lead and getting out of WHO. Argentina is also inspired by President Trump. And we have this. So our upcoming weather for this week, we're going to have a cold front come in, and also warm air coming in from the Gulf of America. That will clash, and we'll have some about central U.S. Thunderstorms, possibly tornadoes. In Texas, we can expect cooler temperatures later this week. and freezing rain beginning in the Panhandle. Ryan Hall Y'all puts out snow will be coming in northwest U.S., covering Washington State, Idaho, Montana, moving east to Michigan, Pennsylvania, and down to Virginia. So we see cold coming from the west, moving east, and producing snow. We have this involving the Santorini Island. So we have Greece, we have Israel, and the Santorini Island volcano that could produce a tsunami for Israel, Gaza, and Italy if the underwater volcano explodes. We've had a earthquake 5 magnitude yesterday, February 7. In space weather, this week we've had 20 M-class flares, some nearing X-class caliber, and they continue Friday, February 7. We also have 500 Starlink older satellites falling out of the sky. Each one contains 66 pounds of aluminum. They create a fireball and then explode high up in the atmosphere, but they do release additional aluminum in our skies. And now we have this from Fox News. The Republicans are putting forth a House bill that will stop future presidents from blocking oil and gas drilling. In other words, future presidents can't just come in and say, stop all drilling. Congress is going to bring forth a House bill, then it goes to the Senate, and then to President Trump to sign into law that only Congress can stop oil and gas drilling. And the name of the bill is Protect American Energy Production Act. So that's going on. And we have this. Yeah, I have a Patriot subscriber who has a legal background who's saying President Trump has all the authority he needs under the executive branch and that courts cannot stop President Trump's, for one thing, with his Doge group going into various federal agencies and auditing them. The lower court does not have jurisdiction over a president's executive order. Only the Supreme Court can do this and has original jurisdiction. And my Patriot subscriber puts this forth. The law case that's been used by the standard for many law schools, Marbury versus Madison, has been misunderstood, and to indicate that courts do have jurisdiction over the president's executive power. My Patriot subscriber says no. Lower courts do not have jurisdiction over a president's executive orders. So, we should see something going forth. Now, Dave Hodges of Common Sense brings this out. More information on the recent Black Hawk Eagle crash near Washington, D.C. Intel that the certain device on the Black Hawk was turned off that had to do with tracking, raising the probability that the crash was caused by remote control, a third party, which I have put out in several videos. And we have this from Dave Hodges. We know that $200 billion went to Ukraine, and that recently the alleged leader of Ukraine, Zelensky, said Ukraine, out of 200 billion, only received 76 billion. And we've known that many of the Dems received kickbacks from the money that went to Ukraine. Now a list. JB received 92 million. Mitch McConnell, 89 million. Nancy Pelosi, 86 million. Chuck Schumer, 66 million. Lindsey Graham, 82 million. Mitt Romney, 71 million. Adam Schiff, 62 million. Kevin McCarthy, 42 million. Jamie Raskin, 38 million. And Elizabeth Warren, 42 million. Ilhan Omar, 33 million. So when we see the Dems pushing back against President Trump, most likely it's because their gravy train has been cut off. Steve Quayle's aggregate site InfoWars, the C virus, Obama okayed in 2015 money to authorize, I know we saw in U.S. aid, money had gone to Wuhan lab to develop the C virus from bat coronavirus. So that's going on. And this information comes out from attorney Tom Rentz about Obama okaying money to develop the C virus or to facilitate the spread of the C virus in 2015. Also from InfoWars, the deep state, is trying to push back against President Trump regarding U.S. aid, the CIA, and now we have it coming out from Wednesday, February 5, an independent journalist, Michael Schellenberger, says that U.S. aid and the CIA worked together to bring about, during President Trump's first term, impeachment action against him, and they were influencing the Congress to bring impeachment. So this was an interim. So we had President Trump, his first term. We had inside the U.S. federal government and certain agencies, including USAID and the CIA, working together to bring false accusations against President Trump to bring about an impeachment movement against President Trump. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of CIA go away too. And we have this from Hal Turner. Now this is very interesting. President Trump has directed NATO to put the UK in place to take over Ukraine defense, to patrol a DMZ zone between the part of Ukraine Russia will get and the part that Ukraine will keep. But President Trump is moving ahead with this and giving the directive to NATO to tell the UK to gear up to manage the DMZ zone in Ukraine. President Trump's plan has been leaked, and the UK will be in charge of the DMZ zone in Ukraine. So that's going on. Now we have this from Dr. William Mount, President Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi is putting together information that the 6,000 CIA were also involved in the J6 event. So far we have 5,000 FBI, and now this new information, 6,000 CIA, were also involved in the J6 event, as well as the Capitol Police. So President Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi is going after the CIA for their involvement in J6, plus the Capitol Police, plus Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. And after courts that have sentenced American citizens to jail for praying near abortion clinics. So that's going on. And we have this about NATO. Yeah, NATO is saying they're going to send troops to Greenland, France, and Germany. Okay. And President Trump is going to be meeting next week with several NATO groups in Europe. And we have this, Hal Turner. Now this is interesting. Khamenei, the leader of Iran, put forth on X Friday a mysterious message. If the U.S. carries out their threat, we will carry out our threat. And the mystery is, what's the threat the U.S. has made against Iran? And what threat has Iran made against the U.S.? Unknown. And we have this. I have from a Patriot subscriber. The number, okay. President Trump, we know, has made this offer to federal employees that they can resign. I think the offer ended Friday, February 7. And my Patriot subscriber says the total number who accepted the buyout is 60,000. And we have this from a Patriot subscriber. Here in Iowa, Waterloo, Iowa, we're still seeing chemtrails. Yeah, I'm hearing more and more about chemtrails. We have this from New York Prepper that, now, this is very interesting. So we know that Russia has this new incredible intermediate bomb called the Orushnik, and that they had many more to go. Well, they tried to launch on February 6, Thursday, and also on February 7, Friday. They tried to launch the Orushnik inside Russia, presumably to hit Ukraine, but both failed. Could it be that their U.S. is exerting control over Russia's Orushnik? I don't believe that Russia's Orushnik had internal problems. I believe that those two Orushnik attempted launches inside Russia on Thursday and Friday were stopped by the U.S., God and the U.S. And now we have this from Express. Oh, yeah. So China, they're mad about President Trump's action in the Panama Canal for the U.S. to take over control of the Panama Canal and boot out the CCP. China's mad. And they're going to take action. I'm assuming they mean action against Panama Canal in some legal way. And we have this statement being put out by China's Foreign Minister Lin Jian that China opposes the U.S. undermining the Silk Road Initiative in Panama Canal. Now we know Panama was also the site of the Darien Gap, where it's believed up to 1.2 million CCP came through the Darien Gap in the Panama Canal to then cross over into the U.S. So that's going on. Look for the potential of a dust-up by the U.S. in the Panama Canal. I believe President Trump intends for the U.S. to take over the Panama Canal, and I believe that God is on our side. And we have this. President Trump's Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently toured several South American nations, including Panama Canal, Costa Rica, and Central America. And he finished up in the Dominican Republic, where Marco Rubio was involved in the U.S. confiscating a plane owned by the president of Venezuela, Maduro. That happened about Friday. And we have this. Yeah, so New York Prepper brings this out on the night of February 5. That would have been Thursday night. We had inside Russia 11 VIP planes used by high-level executives in Russia, taking off from Moscow, but they were going to different cities. Now, so we have on Thursday, Russia tried to launch an Oresnik, and it exploded over Russia. Thursday night, we had 11 Russian VIP planes going to different parts of Russia. We had on Friday, Russia trying to launch another Oresnik that also exploded in the air over Russia. I put forth, I believe this was the action of God and the great U.S. military. This concludes my flash. I love you, and I'll see you soon.